Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I wanted to talk about something very specific this time, and that is being conscious of, guarding, and protecting our mind states at this time in these unusual circumstances. I saw a thing that somebody done, some university somewhere did a study using artificial intelligence. They scoured through social media and looking for key phrases and things. They've got a program that's supposed to determine or make a determination of the emotional state of the general public, and they found in the last month or so a huge increase of fear, anxiety, and despair. And these negative emotions now dominating the public space. It seems like a reasonable methodology, one way of taking some kind of a psychic temperature of people. And another thing I heard is that about half the population of the world is on some kind of lockdown. So there are billions of people out there that are in some kind of restricted circumstances, and we're feeling the results of it here as well. I also think that there's some validity to the concept of a collective unconscious. Billions of people in the world are feeling fearful and anxious and depressed. That's a major current in the general field of the mind, so to speak. That there's a lot of these kind of negative mental energies being generated right now. So we have to be on guard against falling into that. There's also the immediate practical results of a change of our circumstances and the limitation of our world, which is already fairly secluded, but we've cut ourselves off even further, and we have now very limited contact with anybody outside of this little community. So besides the internal issues of guarding our mind states, we should also try and make an extra effort to be harmonious and kindly with one another. There's the story in the suttas of the Buddha visiting the well, first of all, it's a fairly long story. It begins with him at the monastery at Kasambi, where the monks are quarrelsome, so he leaves there and he visits a monastery that has three monks, well, a small hermitage. There's three monks living together, all from the Kassapa clan, so they call them the three Kassapas, and he praises them as being an ideal, harmonious community. They live mostly in silence, and they look upon another with kindly eyes, mixing as easily as milk with water. So we should make that effort to look upon one another with kindly eyes and be patient with one another, and try to develop loving kindness and compassion. and look inwardly to make the effort, which you should be making in any case, to guard the mind from negativity, but it may be more required at this time. Remember that joy is an enlightenment factor, and we can take some joy, for example, in the coming of the spring. There's an inherent joyfulness in the world, in nature, with the passing of winter. We can see that with the animals and birds stirring about, and the warmer weather, and water flowing. There's that positive life energy that we can uh, tap into. There's more light now. The darkest time of the year is past. We're now past the equinox, so the daylight is longer than the darkness. So we can take some uplift from that. And I would also suggest in your practice that you look for practices that illuminate, brighten, clear the mind. Do things that are energizing and brightening. I've found I've gotten very attached to doing contemplation of devas lately. There's also contemplation of the Buddha. There's chanting. Uh, there are many of these kind of practices that bring up light and joy and brightness in the consciousness that I would recommend you tap into somewhat. So, okay.